mantente constante, mucha perseverancia y no te dejes caer, no dejes que tus sueños se derrumben con un no, con 20 nos, con 30 nos, porque a lo mejor después de 40 habrá un sí y a lo mejor será una franquicia de Resident Evil, you never know.
They said the world would end in 2036, but they were wrong. The world ended a long time ago.
Hello girls, thank you for having me.
Hola Gaby, ¿cómo estás?
Muy bien, gracias. Me encantó tu personaje. Creo que es una mujer que entra en la habitación y llena completamente con la personalidad que tiene. Y te quería preguntar, ¿cómo trabajaste este personaje para que realmente en donde quiera que aparezca, en el cuadro que está, toma este control total de la escena?
Ay, pues no sé, yo como que sentía que como que tiene este poder, no sé, como de esos villanos que dan mucho miedo, pero que no tienen que ser como, no tienen que gritar, no tienen que, como que ya su presencia tiene suficientemente el peso necesario y como tiene tanto poder, ¿sabes? Como que puede ser como más solo llegar y toda la gente le teme porque sabe que tiene poder. Es como, yo quería que Adeline...
What did I do?
Yo quería que Evelyn tuviera eso, que fuera una líder así, ¿sabes?
Okay.
Y quería darle, que eso a mí me parece como terrorífico, ¿no? Que ella no tenía que hacer mucho para que la gente le temiera. Y creo que partí del pensamiento de que ella siempre prefiere ser temida a ser amada, ¿no? Ese es el lema de Evelyn. Yo quiero ser temida porque así te respetan más, cuando te temen más que cuando te aman. Entonces eso era como muy importante para mí y eso es así es como ella va desarrollando su vida y digo, podemos ver claramente que es una persona que tiene mucho dolor, que tiene una herida ahí muy fuerte, que necesita reconocimiento, que necesita el respeto, que está buscando que la gente la reconozca y por eso ella quiere cambiar el mundo y si viene de realmente algo que ella quiere hacer positivo, o sea, viene de algo positivo, pero como sabemos el poder corrompe, entonces termina siendo pues una sociópata y empieza como a cortar toda esa base en la realidad y la empatía por las otras personas y se convierte en un monstruo.
Claro, que realmente es una villana y lo mencionaste, pero se ve que está muerta de miedo, ¿no? Que realmente está a cada segundo temiendo de que algo se le vaya a salir de control y perder todo ese poder.
Es que eso me encanta que lo estés diciendo porque creo que eso es lo que yo quería que se notara, que estaba muerta de miedo. Y creo que es así, ¿no? Creo que todos tenemos miedo y de repente los villanos en este mundo, en esta realidad, los más peligrosos son esos, los que tienen miedo, porque el miedo te puede hacer tomar decisiones muy peligrosas y con consecuencias desastrosas como vemos en Resident Evil, vemos en el futuro todo lo que sus malas decisiones, las consecuencias de sus malas decisiones.
Can you share something new and really tough that you had to learn for this particular role?
Yes, absolutely. The thing that was actually tricky about this was having to unlearn all of the stuff that I'd learned before because, you know, Jade Wesker, which is the character I play, she is not a trained operative. She's not a superhero. She is just a survivalist scientist.
Yeah.
So we wanted it to feel dangerous and messy. So I actually learned a lot of jujitsu and a lot of grappling so that each moment Jade confronts a zombie, a zero, as we're calling them in the show, it felt sudden and dangerous and you didn't know whether she was going to make it through.
Wow, jiu-jitsu. That sounds helpful for the future.
Another little, thing in my armor. It's all good.
Can you remember your first day on set? And also how surreal it was to be on this set filled with zombies as extras or like zeros as extras?
Yes. Actually, my first day on set, I think, was, where were we? Yes, that was it. We were filming in this sort of this safe house area that she sort of goes to. I think that's the best way to describe it. Yeah. I was in a full red jumpsuit, had the jacket on, and everyone's there. And it's crazy how amazing the art department did such a good job of making this world feel real, or making it look visceral and like post-apocalyptic, I guess.
Well, yeah, I remember this scene where there's like a fence in one of the first episodes, and there's like all these zombies like trying to get to you, and it looks really scary. I mean, even if you know that there are actors playing this, did you feel like, damn, like this is really scary?
Yeah, it was very immersive for sure.
What do you think makes different this new adaptation of Resident Evil? What do you think it makes it feel, like different, more human, or even special from the past adaptations we have?
I think there's those elements, but I also want to, again, like kind of reiterate that it is set in the same world, right? I think there's a lot of elements that kind of are very familiar also to the OG fans in terms of world setting. I think what we've done with this series specifically a little bit more is we've kind of added in, okay, in this world that is so familiar, where you have a lot of infected people and also these different power dynamics, we're now adding in, truly like the human element of all the characters and their different dynamics, from Evelyn Marcus and, her being a mother and also like a business owner, and kind of diving into that, as well as, for Billy and for Jade kind of being the daughters of a very prominent scientist, Albert Wesker, and how that kind of affects their relationship. Also the relationship between Jade and Billy and how that then translates into the future, which is where then I come in and kind of get to play the consequences of things that really are relatable to any audience, whether you like horror or not. These are all elements that people can understand. And even though it's set in this, again, very familiar world of Resident Evil, I think that's what's really exciting about this show. There's something for everyone there, for the original fans of the franchise and the games, as well as new viewers. We hope that it is inviting to everyone.
I think it's easier to connect with that instead of, like the CGI and green screen, like having actual people there, like it makes it more real, right?
Absolutely. The supporting artists who played the Zeros went through training days to kind of establish this physical language, which when I went on set and I was confronted with them, obviously I was very shocked. So a lot of the reactions that you see are actually quite real.
Yeah, I imagine that. And do you actually have like a favorite episode or sequence that you really enjoyed getting into?
I think my favorite sequence to shoot might have actually been the liquor sequence, which are a beloved monster in the Resident Evil franchise. We shot that in this tunnel. We did it all in one take, and there were so many moving parts, working with the camera department, plus the rigging and stunts, plus the lighting and all the special effects happening. Umbrella comes in. We got the liquors all around the city. It was just incredible. That sequence was really fun.
And I wanted to ask you, as actresses and being in this crazy show, can you share with me one of the weirdest or coolest thing that you saw on set?
There's a structure that was on fire, and then there was this Zero monster that I couldn't see at the time. Mm-hmm. It was full of extras and like firefighters, extras that were playing firefighters, and they were taking me out on a bed, stretcher. It was so amazing. It felt so real, such an immersive experience that my whole body was like tightened, like believing that was, I had to convince myself that I wasn't even like there in the middle of a fire. I have that memory of that moment thinking, wow. And also thinking, I'm so lucky to be in such an amazing show that I get to experience this.
Awesome. I think similarly for me, for sure, the Zeros, incredible. I mean, the stunt people who like really were heart all into it, hair and makeup, fantastic job. They're so realistic. Like you are scared of them. Like they look like it's insane. Very exciting.
What do you think that makes this new adaptation of Resident Evil different and special, or maybe not special, but different?
I would probably argue that it feels a lot more human, this series. You get a real taste of family. You see Albert Wesker, who's this iconic character within the franchise, but you see him for the first time as a family man. He's corporate executive, and you have all of these faces of this iconic character. Plus you have Jade Wesker, which is my character, who is questionable. She doesn't always make the right choice. And as a protagonist, usually you want to, always make the right decision, always have the audience on your side, and sort of always be thinking positively and doing the right thing. Jade often doesn't make that choice because she has something to lose, and she can act very selfishly, which is something that Tamara Smart, who plays younger Jade in the 2022 timeline, does a really good job of establishing.
¿Podrías compartir un consejo para todas las personas que están aspirando a ser actrices como tú, que has cada vez incursionado mucho más en Hollywood, en personajes más grandes y en producciones más increíbles?
Es que son demasiados los consejos, pero, o sea, ustedes nos ven acá y parece que estamos como muy exitosas y tenemos, y sí estamos exitosas y afortunadas, pero hay tantas veces que nos dijeron que no, hay tantas veces que yo audicioné para muchas otras cosas y me dijeron que no.
Claro.
Entonces es como mantener, intentarlo otra vez, no dejarte caer, acostumbrarte a que te digan que no, saber que esta carrera es de perseverancia, que va a haber muchos nos y de repente va a haber un sí. O sea, yo tuve muchos nos antes del sí de Resident Evil. Entonces, mantente constante, mucha perseverancia y no te dejes caer. No dejes que tus sueños se derrumben con un no, con 20 nos, con 30 nos, porque a lo mejor después de 40 habrá un sí y a lo mejor será una franquicia de Resident Evil. You never know.
I understood that. I agree with it. Get a lot of no's. It's true. Stay persistent. And then,
yes, and then this happens, maybe.
Your character, it's going she's going through these moments where you have to be like in really high intensity, in all these scenes with so much adrenaline going on. So how did you prepare for this level of energy? And did you end up like exhausted every day?
The answer is yes to being exhausted. Honestly, it's when everyone around you is giving 10 out of 10, 100%. It's so easy to just fall into giving that as well. You know, you can kind of get into those moments where you go, I can't go full send on this take. I need to keep something in the tank. But I mean, the camera starts rolling. Director calls action and you're immediately just in the action, especially with something like Resident Evil, which is just so classically exciting and gory and bloody and immersive, filled with monsters and all the excitement that you want.
How much did you know about the Resident Evil lore before joining this project?
Yeah, I was a gamer. I am a gamer. I played the games before I came onto the project, so I knew exactly what the story was.
Amazing. That's perfect. So thank you so much for your time. I love your character. I'm loving the series, and I hope it's going to be a great hit.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Gracias.
Gracias.